We have the potential for a pretty remarkable severe weather day across parts of the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. What's going on, guys? I'm certified meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. In this video, we're going to break it down for you. Moderate risk has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. These are rare in and of itself, a little 4 to 5 on the severe weather scale, but it's even more rare that they would be under the gun in the mid-Atlantic and Northeast in August, as we typically back off on the widespread nature of severe weather. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about in just one second. Then we're going to break down the timeline for places like South Carolina, Virginia, getting into D.C., New York, Pennsylvania, coming up in just one second. Big-time damaging wind threat. That is the main threat out of this deal. But there's also going to be a tornado threat. And again, I will break down where exactly that is going to take place, or the potential anyway, coming up in just one second. Here is the main risk for today. Again, the big red area, that is the bullseye, but you just see how big the entire risk is. Even that light green color, that 1 out of 5, there's a chance for a few strong thunderstorms. But again, that main risk area is going to take place from about Asheville, North Carolina, through Roanoke, Virginia, into Charlottesville, up through D.C., and then for us, close to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philly. And again, that is that red area, that moderate risk, that 4 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Still nothing to laugh at. The enhanced risk, just east of Pittsburgh, through most of West Virginia, down towards Atlanta, through Orangeburg, into Columbia, South Carolina, into Raleigh, Durham, and then back up through Philly, and then to the west of New York City. That includes western New Jersey as well. So again, this has the potential to be a really big and destructive severe weather day. Again, most of this is for damaging straight line winds, but there's also going to be the threat for tornadoes. So I want to show you the latest high resolution future model here, future radar. Here we go. This is going to be 3 o'clock on Monday, August 7th. Severe weather already ongoing to the early afternoon, late morning. But look at all these darker reds and purples embedded here. This is going to be a very nasty line of thunderstorms. Again, never want to use the D word, derecho, until something happens, but the ingredients are going to be there. What that means is just a very widespread and a very intense damaging straight line wind event. So that's just a fancy term for that, because it has a set criteria for it. There has to be damage along a very wide area, greater than 400 miles, and then we have to have those higher wind gusts, about 75 miles an hour, intermittently spread out throughout the damage path. So again, those are rare, and especially as we get deeper into the summer. So let me take you back here, and we're going to go step by step, as that kind of went on through fast. But as we get towards dinner time tonight, there's 4 to 5 o'clock. Again, heads up towards Roanoke, heads up towards Danville, into the Halifax, Virginia area, into Martinsville. This is going to be blowing through the Asheville area towards Bristol, Tennessee. This is something that heads towards Washington, D.C. Again, we are in that moderate risk for severe weather. 5, 6 o'clock into the afternoon, into your early evening, could have some rock and thunderstorms. Again, these could be extremely intense. Again, this is potential for wind speed greater than 70 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour even. And you see that again to the west of Philadelphia. As we get deeper into the evening, the line does become a little bit less intense. But notice, we still have very intense thunderstorms. 8, 9 o'clock, knocking on the door of New York City, through most of central Jersey, all the way down through the Delmarva, to the west of Norfolk, through Raleigh-Durham again, hanging back towards Columbia, into Orangeburg. So again, these intense thunderstorms still with us till 9, 10 o'clock tonight, before they finally kind of blow off of Cape Hatteras by midnight into your early Tuesday morning. One of the other things here that I want to show you is the wind threat area. The Storm Prediction Center not only highlights that scale from marginal through high, but then they also break it down for threats. And this is significant because you see that hatched area, those lines kind of in the middle of that purple. This is going to be your highest opportunity for significant severe weather. That means that wind speed of pushing hurricane force, 75 miles per hour or greater. And that best opportunity, again, is going to be from Bristol, Tennessee, through Roanoke, Virginia, through Charlottesville, Virginia, and Elkins, Beckley, West Virginia, through D.C., and then up through about Harrisburg. And again, that high threat all the way through Chattanooga into Greenville, Greensboro, and then just to the west of the Philly metro area. So again, this has the potential to be an extremely damaging, dangerous afternoon. Certainly a way to get your watches and certainly get your warnings as they may be issued from the National Weather Service. Again, they don't upgrade to that level 4 out of 5 all that often, and when they do, it does typically come into fruition. So just keep that in mind. This says wind threat at the top, but this is now the tornado threat in yellow here. So while we don't have this off the charts by any means, we have a 10% chance. What these colors represent, that green represents a 2%, that brown represents a 5%, and then that yellow represents a 10%. Again, that's fairly significant. When you hear those percentages like that, it's like, oh, it's only a 10%. But the way that the Storm Prediction Center characterized their percentages, that is fairly high. That means you have a 10% shot within about 25 miles to see a tornado. So it's not the main threat today, but that threat is certainly elevated as well. So again, just keep that in mind. Could be a very, very damaging day across parts of the deep south, or across parts of the mid-Atlantic, and then really, I guess, parts of the deep south as we get into Alabama, parts of Georgia as well, the northern tier of that. But that main risk area, look at that nasty line of thunderstorms through about 5, 6 o'clock on your Monday evening. Again, really nasty stuff here potentially coming as we get. And again, don't want to throw that H word out, historic. Obvious, this just doesn't happen a lot in August. We'll put it that way. I know a lot of people want to hear that D word, and it's going to be thrown around the internet a lot. Derecho. Again, it's got that set definition, regardless of if it actually verifies. This could be a very nasty afternoon and early evening throughout parts of the mid-Atlantic, Northeast, and deep south. Again, there is that set definition. Of course, we remember 2012 in this area. That was an extremely, extremely high-end derecho. So we're not predicting that per se. But on this widespread scale, we could have some nasty damaging winds. Hey, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you do want to stay updated on all things weather, you have to hit subscribe. Please do that. If you found this content helpful, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help us out a lot. If you hit that notification bell, it's going to let you know when we post new content. So if you're a weather nerd, like to talk about the weather, you've come to the right place. And if you just want to stay updated on the weather, you're also in the right place. Please hit that thumbs up and please hit subscribe, and we will catch you next time.